today it's the Wednesday the 13th of September 2017, and 2 days ago I had the last day of my applied enterprise module, and in that session we looked at a crossroads exercise where we had a bit of time to think about where we've come from, what matters to us, and the different options moving forwards. Out of that, for certain, I knew that I couldn't go back. What I was less clear about was what I would actually do to achieve that, and I felt and have felt for a long time that the lack of planning in what I'm doing is really affecting me. We also did an exercise called the foresight profile, and my results showed that I was somebody who has loads of ideas and loves to push forward and implement them, but isn't so hot on the detail. And because of that, I felt that my ability to progress with a business venture on my own is going to be somewhat hampered. At some point I do need to look at the detail, and I do need to get the plan sorted out. So I left on Monday a little bit melancholy, really. Of course, the thing with enterprise is you just never know what's around the corner. I think what you need to do is keep a good awareness of how things are shifting around you and when you might need to react quite quickly. So since Monday I've been setting my mind to think about, who could I work with, what would be the next step. Really what I was thinking is I need somebody who's also in a startup environment, who's really highly motivated, got good ambition, that I can actually go in with. Being away from university for the summer has really pulled me back because I'm not getting the positive thinking that I need to actually realise what I can do. And out of the blue today, somebody's basically offered to start stocking some of my products at no cost, basically as a favour, and I think that's as a result of the way my personality has come across, the way I'm perceived, and because people actually genuinely want to help me. And that's it shouldn't be, I suppose, but it is a bit of a shock because I'm just me at the end of the day. I've been going through this process, and ever since I moved to Halifax, a big part of what I'm doing is I just want to be myself. So I'm being more myself than I've ever been. You just can't ever give up. I've been spending all these months going, no, I need a plan, I'm rubbish, I can't plan, I can't do it. And it suddenly dawned on me this evening that maybe all this emphasis you get about you've got to have a plan, you've got to know where you're going, otherwise you're never going to get there. Maybe you don't actually need that straight off, because you've got to have some idea that you've got the potential there, that what you're even looking at might develop into something. And I think getting that glimmer of hope today has made me go, actually, now's the time to plan. It wasn't right before because I didn't have enough information to plan, whereas with things shifting, now I do. As simple as that. I'm not saying that was the same for everybody, but for me that just felt right today. So it was exactly 7 a.m. on Sunday the 17th of September. In the last few vlogs I've been talking about some difficult decisions I'm going to have to make. Actually, they're not decisions I have to make, they're decisions I was and am choosing to make. I mentioned a few times about how I've been upsetting people, and I think I've started I had started to lose my way a little bit around that. Linked back to my course and my shadowing I did recently, one of the books that came out of all of that was this one, which is Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So I finally got that, and as I'm reading it, so much of it I actually know. Like, if you are trying to work with somebody and you go in and call them an idiot and make out they don't know what they're doing, you're not going to get the best out of them. I know this, so why do I do it? The first half of this vlog was very much about my excitement and energy from the events that happened last week, and continues. By the end of Friday, my birthday, I'd been into Leeds. I'd addressed my new cohort on the course from the position of a business owner. I felt empowered to inspire, and I got the impression that I was inspiring. I was able to be very realistic about the challenges and the difficulties, knowing how that same session felt for me a year ago and how that inspired me. It sort of put into context everything that I have achieved in a year. That thinking back to last year has also helped me reflect on the frustrations I've been feeling at Harvey's and the reasons for joining that business in the first place. Yes, I needed a job. I saw the opportunity of working for that particular business, in one respect to help them, and secondly to help myself. I'd moved to a new area where I didn't know anyone, and I felt it would be the right place to help me build my new life here. And on both those counts, I have succeeded, but I have lost my way a bit, or had done. Last week, I posted something on LinkedIn about, I reposted something from Harvey's about the window displays that I've been involved in, and it came from the right place. It was me being really happy because I felt like it showed the fruits of my labours and what that determination and belief can achieve. But when I read it back a couple of days later, nobody had said anything to me. It was literally me that went and had a look, and all I'd been looking at was how many views it had had, and I was so happy that it had been widely read. When I've looked over it, I realised that actually it was really quite negative towards other people and towards the business, and I was quite gutted to see that I'd done that. It was a real wake-up call about not becoming that arrogant idiot that a lot of people think entrepreneurs are. So I didn't delete it. What I did was edit it down to actually make it a far more positive piece for the business generally, while still conveying my excitement to have been involved in that process and to feel like I'd achieved a lot. And along with the work I'm choosing to do on myself at the moment as regards dealing with people, that is part of that process essentially. Monday I was choosing to basically sideline my own business. I was giving up the control that I've got over everything, because I was saying I can't so many times to people about I can't carry on my own, I can't do this, can't do that, and that's not true. That isn't what I originally wanted to talk about as the second half of this vlog. I met Owen the other day, and he'd been talking to me last week about networking. It makes me laugh now thinking what I've just said, because I was saying the reason I seem to have been able to do a lot around that is because I was just being myself. He gave me a couple of these, which I had to pass on. I've still got one, and there's nothing about plugs in it. What's that all about? Anyway, he's doing really well. And Laura sent me the sweetest birthday message on Friday. Really touched by that. Right, I've got to go. Work beckons.